What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another live stream. Today we're going to be doing the live watch-along of Manchester City's away game against AFC Bournemouth in the Premier League. Before I do crack on with this stream, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. We're now less than 30 subscribers away from my goal of 38,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links, including my Twitter and Instagram. You can find them in the description or on the yellow banner at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and search for me and follow me on there. Same can be said with my TikTok. You can find that in the description, along with my email if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. Already off to a tremendous start here, aiming for 100 likes. We're more than a fifth of the way. We're nearly a quarter of the way to the like goal, and the stream has literally only just started. So a tremendous effort. So thank you so much, guys. We are now 78 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the live chat, including where you're tuning in from today and also your score prediction. We have got Faisal in the chat, much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. Rain as well, thank you for tuning in, much appreciated. Nadir says, wow, what a day so far. Arsenal lose. They have lost to Newcastle away today, so gives Manchester City a little bit of breathing room on Arsenal. Liverpool are playing at the same time as us today in their home match against Brighton. Not easy for them either. We'll keep an eye on what City are doing. We'll keep an eye on what Liverpool's doing. And who knows, maybe Man City could win this game. Liverpool don't win against Brighton, and we have clear daylight between us and the rest when it comes to the top of the Premier League. So let's be optimistic, guys. Geffin, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Dalton as well, thank you for tuning in. Says, we win as a team, we lose as a team. Come on, lads, let's back our boys. We've been in the dumps before, and we've always preserved. I'm backing my team 2-1. Let's go, Manchester City. That's the kind of positivity that we need. Matthew, thanks so much for tuning in. Going with very much optimism there with a 6-0 away win for Manchester City, but I'd love a 6-0 away win for City today. It says, hope everything is good and well with you. Thank you very much for that, Matthew. Much appreciated. Says, I'd love to see you in Manchester one day. Certainly, always popping in and out of Manchester, not too far away from me. 12 miles, in fact. So, yeah, it would be great to meet all of you guys. If I ever do get to meet any of you guys, that would be absolutely fantastic. If anyone ever does see me out and about at any of the City games and stuff, normally you can tell if I'm at a City game because I won't be streaming. And if we're at home, then more than likely I will be at the City game, unless I've said on my previews as to why I'm not there. So yeah, would be great. Sam, thanks for tuning in as well. Much appreciated. Cheering on Manchester City today. As you can see, we've got the poll running as to who you think's going to win in today's game. 21% going with a Bournemouth win, 68% going with a City win, and 11% of you going with a draw. Dave says, expecting a poor performance and a 2-1 win for Manchester City today. Can we grind it out? Can we get the 3 points? That's the big question. So we'll have a look at the teams in just one moment. Firstly, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. SofaScore are going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores, along with the latest match information, match statistics, match analysis, live commentary, and all your good footballing needs. It's a brilliant app, not just limited to football, by the way. All the sports that you guys love to follow are all covered on SofaScore, so do go and check it out. It is a free app to download, and anyone that does download using my link in the description or the link in the live chat or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. A very highly rated app, worthwhile checking out if you haven't done so already, and I would appreciate anybody doing that for me. Got my promo video, which I'm going to roll for you guys right now. Rightio then, heading on to SofaScore, today's video sponsor, onto their app. We're going to select Manchester City's away game against AFC Bournemouth. We've got all the latest information all locked and loaded here for you guys, including the latest odds. Bournemouth 9-2 to win today's game. So if you're feeling pessimistic and you're thinking, do you know what? I have a couple of bob on that, and if Man City do lose, I may end up quids in. 9-2 with Manchester City injury-stricken, down to the bare bones. Bournemouth will be thinking today, if there is ever a point that they're going to beat Manchester City, then today could be that day. City at 20-11 on to win the game, and a draw at just over 3-1 at 10-3. I think Man City are going to win today. I think it's going to be a narrow game, a close game, and as long as we can keep 11 men on the pitch, I think we win today. So I'm going with a Man City win. 80% of SofaScore users going with a Man City win today. Just under 100,000 votes already. Referee for today's game is Michael Oliver. The game is not being broadcast live in the UK. It is in the blackout, so we will be using a stream, which does mean naturally I'm going to probably be behind you guys, as you guys will be watching in real time. I'll be watching on a stream, so I'll be probably, I estimate, when 3 p.m. games in the UK come around, I'm normally around 20 to 30 seconds behind you guys. So I would appreciate anybody not spoiling it for me, so I can give my natural, honest reaction. You know, sometimes in the chat I see loads of people putting goal. I know then potentially there's a goal coming up. I know some of you guys like to tease and put a goal when there's no goals and stuff. So I'm not taking for granted that something's happening, but I would appreciate if things weren't put into the chat until I've managed to react to the game. There's nothing I can do about it. 3 o'clock games aren't broadcast here in the UK, so unless you're at the stadium, you're not able to watch unless you're watching on a stream. And because it's using satellite and coverage that's coming from outside of the UK, it means I'm naturally going to be behind. So I would appreciate that, guys. Don't really have any more rules, really, on the live streams. Please keep it clean, nice and friendly, and enjoy yourself and have a good time. And I'd say that's pretty much it, really. Anyway, on to today's game. Going to start off with our opponents first. AFC Bournemouth. Rain says, do I play games? I presume, do you mean video games, Rain? Gavin says it would be perfect if Liverpool lost and Man City won. It'd be the dream weekend. Arsenal and Liverpool lose and City win, with a difficult game for City as well, would be the absolute dream. And 1/3 of that has already happened. So there we go. Kawami, thanks for tuning in. Says, win City, come on. I do hope you are right. Alvin, thanks for tuning in. Says, we managed to get some players back. Hurrah, which is good. We'll speak about that in just 1 second. Rodder says, no spoilers. So yeah, would appreciate no spoilers, guys. As I said, it's only 20 to 30 seconds behind. So after 20 or 30 seconds, as soon as you've seen me give my reaction to what's happened in the game, feel free to go with all your reactions in the chat, whether you're happy or not. No limits here on the live stream, so that would be great. Rain, I used to play video games, not so much now. I work full time, I do this part time, so this kind of takes up all of my spare time doing all the YouTube stuff, and obviously not just running the JSGC Man City fan channel, but helping to run all the other little avenues that I have inside other YouTube channels as well. Kind of just takes up all my spare time, so I don't really have much time to be doing video games, unfortunately. I'd love to. I love a good video game, if I'm being honest, but I mean, properly, I've probably not played in about 5 years. Life happens. Anyway, Bournemouth, they're lining up today with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Average age of their squad today, 26.2 years, led by manager Andoni Iraola, their manager. They're lining up with Mark Travers in goal, so Kepa not fit enough to be starting for Bournemouth today. They're lining up with a back four of Adam Smith captaining the team today, along with Zabayani as their centre-back, with Sensei and Kirkes as the left-back. They've got Ryan Christie and Lewis Cook in midfield, with Justin Kluivert further ahead of them. No surprise from that midfield. They've got Semenyo and Tavernier starting as their two wingers, with Evanilson starting as their striker, which again, of no real surprise. On the bench today for Bournemouth, they've got Will Dennis, Dean Huijsen, Julian Araujo. I was expecting Araujo to start, so he doesn't. Instead, it's Adam Smith being given the nod. James Hill, Max Aarons, Tyler Adams, Phillip Billing only just come back from injury, so he might be an option coming from the bench, along with David Brooks and former Manchester City man Enes Unal. It means that Kepa isn't fit enough to come into the squad today, but isn't too far away. Same can be said with Sinistera. Phil Billing is fit enough to be in the squad and on the bench, but Alex Scott, long-term absentee for AFC Bournemouth. Your Manchester City starting 11 today. City's average age of their squad at a whopping 28.8 years old. Very experienced team, lining up with a 4-1-4-1 formation led by manager Pep Guardiola. We line up today with Ederson in goal, a back four made up of captain Kyle Walker, not only returning back to the Manchester City squad, but fit enough to be starting. I don't know the whole details around Kyle Walker. I don't want to speculate because I don't know all the facts. Maybe you guys might know a little more than me. I've not had a chance too much today to go onto social media to see if anything's been put out there about Kyle Walker. But if he was returning back to the City squad after being out for a few weeks since the last international break, I'd expect him to be on the bench rather than starting. Now, two ways of looking at this. Either Man City are very concerned about the fitness and also he's needing a rest, Rico Lewis, that they've rushed Kyle Walker back and decided to start him today, or there's just not been that much wrong with Kyle Walker and he's kind of fallen down the pecking order and Man City have decided to utilise him once again. We'll see. I'm telling you right now, if Kyle Walker is at full pace, fit, raring to go and looking as sharp as ever, I think there's a little more than meets the eye in terms of his fitness. Now, if he's looking a bit leggy, a little tired already, then it's telling me that maybe he's been rushed back. We will see what shape Kyle Walker's in. Surprises me though. Anyway, Akanji, he starts and fit enough to start after having a knock against Spurs in the warm-ups. He returns to the starting lineup. Nathan Ake also in the starting lineup today, and I think the bigger surprise there is Ake starting alongside Josko Gvardiol. So I'm going to presume that Kyle Walker's going to go on the right-hand side of centre-back with Manuel Akanji going through the centre and Nathan Ake occupying the left-hand side. I mean, if we're going to invert, then Josko Gvardiol could be staying back, but that at times could be a back two with just Akanji and Ake back. Have we seen Akanji and Ake start as a two centre-back for Man City so far this season? I'm not entirely sure that we have. Don't quote me on that, but very surprising with John Stones and Ruben Dias also options for Manchester City, but here we are. Midfield, much more predictable. Mateo Kovacic starts alongside him at Phil Foden and Ilkay Gundogan. I was wondering maybe they might give Nico O'Reilly or Jacob Wright or James McAtee the opportunity in midfield. They've not. They've gone with the experienced Ilkay Gundogan, who has struggled for form so far this season. So another opportunity here for Gundogan to see if he can start to find some form. And if we can get Gundogan firing on all forms and, finding goals and assists and helping Manchester City from a defensive point of view, then that would be great. I'm just a little concerned. I feel like Gundogan, a little bit like Kyle Walker, is just starting to lose his pace and edge. And because he's losing his pace and edge, just takes away another real asset of their game that we've previously had exposure to. So a big opportunity. I think Ilkay Gundogan, if he doesn't impress today, and we do have options in midfield, I can see us not seeing Ilkay Gundogan until maybe the end of November. So a real big game for Ilkay Gundogan. Erling Haaland, no surprise, starts up top. Bernardo Silva, we don't have any other option to start on the right wing, and same with Matheus Nunes, who's looked so good for City, starts on the left wing. Now this is where things get really interesting. The substitute bench. Manchester City have got Stefan Ortega on the bench. With him, they've got a pretty strong bench as well. Rico Lewis, you've got Jermaine Simpson-Poussey, who looked very good when he came on, so great to see Simpson-Poussey once more around the City first team squad. Savinho's been deemed fit. He has been called up for international duty by Brazil, so they've deemed that he is fit. They've asked a question from Manchester City. The doctors aren't fully convinced that Savinho's over his injury, but Savinho is convinced that he's over his injury. So he's had an impact injury on his ankle. It's not broken the bone or fractured the bone or chipped the bone or done anything involving the bone, which is great. It just needs a recovery time. And I think ideally you'd want the player to sit out at least a week. So I don't think we'll see Savinho at any point in this game. He just wants to showcase that he is fit. I wouldn't use Savinho today if it was up to me. I don't think I'd use Savinho against Sporting either. Have him as an option from the bench, great. I don't think I'd send him on for today. Maybe Tuesday night I'd be tempted to give him 10-15 minutes, see how he gets on, and if he's good from there, he's fit to start for Man City's away game against Brighton next weekend. I just think, whilst we're injury stricken, you don't want to be rushing players back, and considering now we've got some good options from the bench, don't really need to do so. Previous midfield trio that I mentioned, James McAtee, Jacob Wright and Nico O'Reilly, all on the bench today for Manchester City. And then this is where it gets really interesting. Jeremy Doku, I wasn't expecting him back until after the international break, is back now and back in the squad, so clearly proven his fitness, so he will be called up for international duty. Make of that what you will, but not fit enough to start today for Man City. And I think the biggest surprise, Kevin De Bruyne is on the bench for Manchester City as well. He also has been fit for several weeks, but Man City haven't wanted to take the risk because they weren't too sure why Kevin De Bruyne weren't responding properly to his injury recovery. And there were some question marks being put out there by Pep Guardiola about Manchester City players not doing enough in training to ensure that they're over their injuries. No names were mentioned, but it's very interesting that Kyle Walker in the squad and starts. Jeremy Doku, meant to be out until after the international break, is back today. And Kevin De Bruyne, we didn't know when he was going to be back, but all of a sudden chucked into the squad when things are looking pretty bleak for Manchester City. Something that isn't quite right. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure we'll ever find out until said player leaves the club, and then we'll find out. But clearly, for me, something with them three players, I don't know what's gone on. I don't know whether it's angled at Kevin De Bruyne or if it's been angled at Kyle Walker. I don't know. I don't think it'd be involving Jeremy Doku, but that's very interesting. I also find it pretty interesting that Ruben Dias and John Stones not in the squad for Manchester City today. John Stones needs a rest. That means he should be fit to start our next two games because he can't do more than 3 games in a week when it comes to starting. Ruben Dias has had that impact injury and has needed a rest, so it's great that he's managed to get a rest for Manchester City today, and who knows, he might get a rest even further along from there as well. So there we go. My score prediction, I'm going 2-1 Man City. I'm still sticking with Bernardo Silva to have a brilliant game today. He scores along with Erling Haaland. I think Bournemouth are going to take the lead. I'm going with Evanilson to score their goal. Manchester City, though, we've seen Arsenal lose today against Newcastle. Can we capitalise upon that? And we can keep an eye on the Liverpool game as well. So guys, don't forget, please do leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes. We're now 64 likes away. Any help towards that would be great. Do go and check out my social media links. You can find them in the description or on the yellow banner if you want to go and search for me and follow me on my social media. Email also in the description and in the chat too. On the yellow banner too if you want to go and hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to go and leave your thoughts in the live chat, including your score predictions for today's game. Stones, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Said we should have spent big on a versatile midfielder instead of bringing Gundogan back as the cheap option. Guy's legs have gone. Sick of him. Sick of club legend Ilkay Gundogan. I won't have Ilkay Gundogan slander coming from my mouth. I think he's a sensational player. I'm so appreciative of what he's done for City. He is a player that will persevere. He will try hard. He's kept himself fit, retired from international duty. He's helped Manchester City during this difficult period for us to navigate with injuries as well. Clearly brought in as a rotated option for City, who's had no choice to be a starter. In an ideal world, he'd want to have been integrated back into the Premier League, and I think he's struggled due to his age, and he's adapted fully to the La Liga style and pace of football rather than getting back in the thick of it with the Premier League. That I think just adapting, he's struggled a little bit with it, and it's just going to take him a fair amount of time to adapt, and I reckon probably going to see more and better of Ilkay Gundogan in the second half of the season than the first half of the season. If there's any player there, though, that's been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, who knows how to score big goals and be relied upon, Ilkay Gundogan does know how to do it. I'm not going to disagree, though, with you saying that Ilkay Gundogan was the cheap option for Manchester City. All summer they were getting linked with making a move for Bruno Guimaraes over at Newcastle. They never really made a move, never pushed the agenda, and just thought, do you know what, we'll go with an easy, cheaper option with Ilkay Gundogan without properly addressing the issues that we've got in midfield, them issues which are still there, and them issues that will still be here going into next summer as well. We do have the opportunity to try and add to our squad in January, and I'd strongly recommend that Manchester City do take up that option to do so, because we've not got Rodri between now and the end of the season. And obviously being a Ballon d'Or winner and not having your Ballon d'Or world best player available for a whole season, it's nothing short of a disaster. Brian, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Verico, thanks for tuning in as well. Sympathy of Clusters, thank you for tuning in. Lots of love being shown for Arsenal dropping points today. We've got Aryan, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Daniel, thanks for tuning in as well. I'm not going to rule Arsenal out the title race. It's just not been enough games being played yet to rule anybody out of the title race. But it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. Geffin going for a 1-1 prediction today. I'm going for 2-1 Manchester City, so do get your score predictions in the chat. Philip says, well, my friend, looks like it's all fallen apart for Arsenal. Just too many drop points, 1 point in 3 games, not looking too great to them. John, hello, thank you for tuning in, much appreciated. Julia as well, thank you for tuning in, it is much appreciated. Craig says battle stations at the ready, which is my call to go and get a stream set up for you guys, so just bear with me for just one moment. Do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. I'm just going to roll my longer video so I can get that stream prepared for you guys, and I'll see you in the next 50 seconds. And a big thank you there to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. So we are going to have a moment's silence very soon. I mentioned last weekend about teams having their Remembrance days, because we have Remembrance Sunday coming up next Sunday ahead of November 11th. So every team's last home game before November 11th, which today is AFC Bournemouth's last Premier League game before then, means they're going to have a moment's silence. So we're going to observe that moment's silence right now. Impeccably observed at the Vitality Stadium for Remembrance Day. So, Manchester City playing in their home shirts today. AFC Bournemouth, of course, in their home shirts as well. Hope it's going to be a good game. Julia feeling confident, which is good to see. I'm feeling confident. I think, as I said, keep 11 men on the pitch and I'm confident we can win the game. I watched the Bournemouth game against Arsenal a couple of weekends back, and the big downfall Arsenal had was going down to 10 men. Before that, they were dominating the game. So if Man City can, because we play a very similar style to Arsenal, Mikel Arteta learnt from Pep Guardiola, if we can maintain that control and keep 11 men on the pitch, I'm hoping we can put Bournemouth onto the back foot and try and pick up the win that way. Aston Villa really should have beaten Bournemouth last weekend as well. Took a 96-minute equaliser from Bournemouth. So They're a team that know their way around playing a team. They know how to score goals. They know how to frustrate teams. It's not going to be an easy away game, this, for Manchester City by any stretch of the imagination. So hopefully we can get the job done. Going for a close game, narrow game. I fancy that City are going to concede today. So if I'm going positive, I'm going 2-1 Manchester City. So we do have kickoff. Man City getting us underway for this game, attacking from left to right, with Bournemouth attacking from right to left. Manchester City fan says even a draw will shatter our 100% record. Is it 100% against Bournemouth? Hopefully we can get the job done. There's a strong team out there. I'm confident we can get it done. John going 3-1 to Manchester City today. Stones makes a good point. Says rushing Walker back to the field like that surprises me. But you know what? Defensively, better than Lewis. I'm just a bit concerned about Kyle Walker's pace is my only problem. If he still had his pace about him, he's a very good defender. Take the pace away from him, though, and all of a sudden left struggling a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how fit he is. As I said, I'm not entirely sure he's been injured. We've had no updates from Pep as an early ball comes forward from Bournemouth, dealt with by Manchester City, and Ederson can collect that ball. Nadir reckons a draw today, going 1-1. William, thanks for tuning in, says, come on City, Toon done you a big favour. Definitely, a big win for Newcastle, needed that. Arsenal, struggling a little bit. They've got difficult fixtures. They've got a match against Inter Milan midweek, and they've got... who have they got next weekend? Arsenal. I'm fairly sure they've got a difficult game next weekend as well. City fans making plenty of noise. Bournemouth coming forward once more. City looking a bit stretched, and a pass comes in, and a good save from Ederson. Ricocheted, and a brilliant save from Ederson again. Manchester City at 6s and 7s there. Bournemouth really should have found the back of the net. They haven't, and Manchester City survive. It's Arsenal got Chelsea away next weekend. There we go. Rodder's got Manchester City winning 3-1, he reckons, today. Getting open Leeds are going to win today. Who's Leeds got? Really good double save that from Ederson. It is a corner to Bournemouth, though. Nadir, it is Chelsea away next week. Plymouth, is it Plymouth away? Is it the long trek down to Plymouth, or are Plymouth coming to Yorkshire? Is the question. As corner comes in from Bournemouth, headed clear. Another ball comes in from Bournemouth, deep, and that's collected by Ederson. So some warm hands for Ederson early on there for Manchester City. Manchester City fan, it's Manchester City's current away top, which we've not played too much. So you've got the OKX. I've got to turn it there. There you go, OKX on the sleeve. Puma over here on the sleeve. You've got OKX over here on the sleeve, and the Puma sponsor there. You've got Etihad Airways. I'll just there you go, Etihad Airways. So it's the current one. Bought in New York City, if any of you should check that video out on my channel, as City come forward here. On the left-hand side, Matheus Nunes been in good form. First chance City have got forward in the first 3 minutes of the game, and he's tackled, and Bournemouth can come forward. Rain, it is a nice top. I think for comfort-wise, I prefer my red and black one that I normally wear on my streams. But debuting, making its debut, the Man City current away top, which I don't think feels as nice as that black and red City away top from the treble winning season, in my opinion. So there's a reason why I've not worn it on stream as of yet, but decided with City, I like superstition. Man City lost the last game on my stream, which I was wearing that red and black top. So don't want back-to-back losses, so decided for superstitious reasons that we're going to change it. Manchester City then got a throw in here, chance to put a ball into the box. Once again, Bournemouth look well up for this, by the way. Come to expect no less from Bournemouth, to be honest. As we are now just 55 likes, guys, away from 100 likes. So any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here, and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Just trying to get myself a little more room. Bournemouth coming forward again here on the right wing. A chance for them to put a ball into the box. They choose not to, just play it back, and there's acres of space for Bournemouth. Acres and acres of space. So 5 minutes in, 0-0 here. As Bournemouth have got more space, and they've kept that in and into the penalty area, squared across, and Man City can deal with that. Bournemouth looking very good in these opening stages as Phil Foden's brought down, and that will be a free kick for Manchester City. Now 3 likes away from 50, which is a fantastic effort, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. It is much appreciated. Clear foul from Ryan Christie on Phil Foden there. Definitely a free kick. I think Ryan Christie's into the book for that challenge as well. As John says, please leave a thumbs up. That would be great. Here's Eddie then for Manchester City. It's the middle of the day, and I know it's a bit gloomy and a bit cloudy everywhere in the UK right now, but every time City play Bournemouth, I feel like we're playing them at night. The stadium's so dark. If you were to tell me what time is it there, I'd think it was like 8, 9 p.m. The stadium's so dark. Yeah, that's good work from Bournemouth to work the way out of trouble. Really good work. Full of confidence, Bournemouth. Not going to be an easy away game, this, for City. Could really do with scoring the opening goal. Already, Bournemouth have created a couple of really good opportunities, but to no avail. That long ball sent forward is sent straight out of play for a throw-in, which Kyle Walker wanted to take quickly, but the referee says no. He wants to slow the game down for some unknown reason. I'm not too sure. Anyway, I think Kyle Walker was too far forward to take the throw-in. Is maybe why he's told them to send it back. I'm not sure. Anyway, here's Manchester City coming forward again. That's not the best from Ederson, and it's cut off by Bournemouth. And work to the right, and a chance here for a shooting opportunity, and it's lovely work from Matheus Nunes to cut that off. Gvardiol sends a ball forward to Haaland, and City can think about breaking forward here. Here's Haaland just bursting forward, and it's really good coverage play that from AFC Bournemouth, and they can come forward and into the City half. A good game of football is a good test. City haven't really settled in the first 8 minutes. I feel like Bournemouth will think, whilst they're on top, they're probably going to want to try and have something to show for it. For City, I think it's just about ensuring that we're managing the game correctly. So normally I'd encourage City to try and get off to a quick start, but they've not managed it so far, and that's not the best of passes into the channel, and Kyle Walker's just going to send that away from the City goal. Haaland will collect the ball and give it away again, and here's Bournemouth coming forward. Work to the left-hand side, and a chance for them now to perhaps put a ball into the box. And drives into the area, squared across, and there's a flick on, and there's a shot, and there's a goal! Bournemouth, I said they've been on top the opening few minutes in this game. They need something to show for it, and now they do have something to show for it. Weak defending from Manchester City. It's a lovely turn and shot. I think it's Savinho with the goal. And Bournemouth lead. Just going back to what I was saying literally a minute ago, it's so important. Normally I encourage City to try and get off to quick starts. For this game, I didn't want a quick start from City. I wanted us just to navigate the first 20-25 minutes, see off the first wave from Bournemouth, tire them out, and then hit them. The game and the pace of the game suiting AFC Bournemouth. They've dominated the game so far. It's just poor defending. Good finish from Savinho. It's a good pullback, but it's just weak. Really poor from Manchester City. Really poor. Mixed Sid also won't be very happy, as his team Preston North End are behind at home against Bristol City. And here's Bournemouth coming forward. We can't afford to go 2-0 behind. It's all Bournemouth, this, at the moment. They're committing. They're not just getting 2 or 3 players forward, by the way. They're getting about 6 or 7 forward. Man City are on the back foot. Bournemouth are rubbing their hands. They're just thinking, you know what, we're just going to keep having a pop at Manchester City as a big push in the back comes in from City. It should have been a free kick for Bournemouth. Referee doesn't give it, and in the end, City can come forward with it. Here's Kyle Walker, just plays a ball into the channel looking for Erling Haaland, finds Erling Haaland. And the one advantage that we do have, and we've got to stay positive with, is how Bournemouth are playing means that there's going to be space for City's attackers to work with. So if we can get to grips on the game, we should be able to find at least a goal. As we're now more than 50 likes. We're 47 likes away from 100 likes. More than halfway to my like goal. So any help towards that would be great, guys. Do subscribe if you're new around here. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Aiden, thanks for tuning in. As I said, apologies. I'm about 30 seconds behind real time. The game's not been broadcast here in the UK, so it has to be used through streams, which means I'm going to be a little behind. So I'd appreciate if nobody spoilt it for me until I managed to give my reaction. As Nadir says, we're not going to win this game. Rain says, boo Man City. Not been the best of starts for City so far. First 12 minutes, it's been all about Bournemouth. And City have just... see if they can find something. I did say Bournemouth score first in this game. Here's Bernardo. Finds Foden. Maybe the first opportunity for City to do something. Here's Kovacic. Manchester City fan, I think you're spot on. It was shambolic defending. Allowing the pullback. Allowing the attacker to get ahead of us. Allowing the attacker to turn, allowing Savinho to turn and get a clean shot away. Just not very good defending. But it's the first time we've seen a defence that's not got a Ruben Dias or John Stones in it so far this season. And I was a bit sceptical about it when I saw the starting 11. Here's Matheus Nunes then. And a shot comes in from Nathan Ake from the edge of the penalty area. It's into the stand, and City's first effort to try and make something happen in the game goes over the top of the crossbar. We'll see how the game develops, because I, for one, if Man City lose this game, I'm not going to sit here and say injuries are to blame. I think that's an easy excuse. Man City's team, on paper, that they've fielded today, in my opinion, is far better than Bournemouth's team on paper. Which means you're making this game about quality. Bournemouth might be fresher, but Man City have got more than enough to go out and make a competitive game and win this game. So being tired and injuries doesn't cut it for me. Bournemouth are outplaying us at the moment. There they are coming forward again. Another cross into the box. And the header knocked down. And this is poor. City have got no control on this game. I'll wait till we get the first 15 minutes through and we'll get the first bits of statistics up. Because I'm convinced Bournemouth are dominating this ball. Into the channel again, and a chance for them to get a ball across and look like a corner. Referee gives a goal kick. This to me, I think, is the worst 15 minutes I've seen from City this season. Worst I've seen. Although Brighton have just taken the lead at Anfield. So somehow City are dominating possession. How? Keith, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. There is fatigue there. I get it. I understand it. But does that mean every time that we're playing the season's long? You're playing every 3 to 4 days. If we're tired now, these players will be done by the time we get to February, March time. At such an early stage of the season, you're suffering so much. To me, management of the squad has got to be better. If we're worried about fatigue and players just aren't sharp enough and aren't fit enough to be starting the game, you know, there's an academy there. Use them. Nico O'Reilly, James McAtee, Jacob Wright, Simpson Pusey, you chuck them on, you give them the chance. I'd rather have 4 youngsters who are trying to learn, who are fresh and fit, rather than seeing a 34-year-old Ilkay Gundogan who's clearly fatigued, tired and out of form, being given the runaround by AFC Bournemouth. Bournemouth have just started to take the foot off the gas, I've noticed, though. This is the stage I wanted to get to. They were going all guns blazing to get that opening goal. The tactic that Ipswich did, that Brentford did, Bournemouth have gone down the same route. The issue them two teams, Ipswich and Brentford, had was they ran out of steam and couldn't cope for the 90 minutes, and City had enough to beat them, and that's what I'm hoping for here. Got to 17 minutes, they're now stepping back because they put everything into them first 17 minutes to find that goal, to have something to defend, which is why I said it was so important that City managed them first 20 minutes. You escape through them first 20 minutes at 0-0. Then you force Bournemouth onto the back foot. Good time to find an equaliser roundabout now. Corner for Manchester City. Whipped in, headed clear. Not the best of corners in, to be fair, and here's Kyle Walker. There's a bonus having Kyle Walker just for them set pieces at the back. Don't have to worry as much about counter-attacks as Bernardo Silva here manages to force a throw-in for Manchester City, which Bernardo wants to get on with the game. Bournemouth are going to try and put the squeeze on. Again, just manage the game. So at the moment, only 2 goals in the Premier League, and maybe they've gone the way that people wouldn't expect. Bournemouth lead against Man City and Brighton lead against Liverpool. So throw in here for City, which Kyle Walker's going to take. Not too sure why the Bournemouth fans are shouting at Kyle Walker. I think they're just unhappy that he's trying to take steps forward to take a throw-in, but referees telling him to get on with the game. Surely Bournemouth would be encouraging Man City to be wasting their own time. Would they not? Not often a team's 1-0 up against City and they're shouting for City to get on with it. Doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, here is Ederson for Manchester City. Yeah, going back to the point I was just making about Ilkay Gundogan and youngsters on the bench, I can forgive Man City dropping points today and maybe losing the game if you've got young players out there who have been given their opportunity. You know, it's not easy for young players to come in, and mistakes can happen because they're young, they're learning and they're developing. It becomes a bit more of an issue when you've got seasoned professionals, players in the 30s looking tired, not performing to their full capabilities, costing Manchester City. And I put that down. I put that down to the manager. The manager's Pep. He's got to manage the squad and manage the team. Pep Guardiola's in charge of the Man City squad size. Pep Guardiola's within his rights to say to Chicky in the summer, I'm not happy with my squad, sign some damn players. Because it's clear that whilst he likes a smaller squad, the squad's not big enough. It's at least 2 players short. Put in long-term injuries for Oscar, Bobb and Rodri, and you're already down to the bare bones. Throw in any injuries based on top of that, and that is going to happen. Then this is just going to be a common theme throughout the season. And you think things are bad now, I'm telling you, get to February, March time, these players will be shot. They're playing 2 extra games in the Champions League. We've already had to be thankful that we've been knocked out of the League Cup, that we've not got an extra game to play in December against Manchester United, which, you know, Man United aren't going to rotate. They'll take that very seriously, which means we'd have to go full strength because no City fan and no City player or staff member is going to put up with Manchester City being put out on our own patch by Manchester United. So we managed to ease our fixture schedule from there. But I don't see how things get better anytime soon. Is City coming forward? Not the best of passes, and it finds Foden in the end, and that's not great from Foden. That's going to go straight out of play for a goal kick. Poor. Really poor. My solution would be for Man City to, when we get to the Brighton game next week, start faking some injuries so players don't have to be called up for international duty. I think Man City have I think Man City are too soft with the international teams. These international teams aren't paying the players' wages. Obviously, it's a great honour for these players to be playing for their national team, but what have we got in terms of European football, the Nations League? It's not World Cup qualifiers. They're glorified friendlies. And most of the City squad just gallivant around the world for the next 2 weeks during the international break and don't get back. And when they come back, they're shot and done. We get players back to us that are injured. And in times we had John Stones come back to us from England's international duty, playing in pointless games, picking up injuries, and we have to pick up the pieces. We pay their wage. Surely Man City can be in contact with England, with Belgium, with Germany, with Brazil, with whomever, and be saying, our players are tired and we're making them not available for selection. Because that's what I would be doing. Justin, I get it. We're not bigger than the international teams, but the international teams aren't paying the cash. Man City are paying the cash. We pay their wages for players to pick up injuries, to come back to us, to not be available. Literally, every international break that we've had, player at least one has come back to us injured. We can't afford any more injuries. We just cannot afford any more injuries. If it's World Cup qualifiers, the big games that I understand has a huge impact for the national teams. Friendlies, Nations League, they're pointless games. And I will die on that hill. I see no reason for Kyle Walker, for Rico Lewis is tired, he's going to get called up for England's international duty. Why? For England to play in the B League of the Nations League against Greece, who cares? Who cares? England could lose in fact, I don't even know who England are playing. That's how much I care. There's got to be a decision to be made. England have got so many options for players to be called up that you're looking at the biggest and best in the Premier League. Do the players need to be called up? Obviously, it should be up to the player to make the decision, but surely as a player, you've got to be looking at it and going, I am absolutely shattered, and the last thing I need right now is to be gallivanting halfway across the world to be playing international football for games that are quite frankly meaningless. And if that's the case, surely the players would be better to have a 2-week break and come back nice and fresh. Because if it doesn't happen, I know what will happen. I know what direction it's going into, and Man City will do nothing about it. And you'll end up with serious injuries to players. You'll end up getting the majority of your players back. One or two of them, though, will pick up serious injuries. Rodri, for example, serious injury because he's been overused by Man City and overused by Spain, leads to a serious injury. We're getting players coming back from injuries. Kevin De Bruyne is on the bench. He's now available for selection for Belgium. Jeremy Doku, just come back from injury. He's now available for selection for Belgium. And they'll be called up. Here's City coming forward. Can we make something happen? Ending my rant. That's a good ball, Haaland! No, it's not worked. And Bournemouth can get it clear. I was said midweek, I would understand if Pep Guardiola went to Tottenham, gave every single first team player the time off and said, do you know what? EDS team, every single one of you, you're in. You're the first team for today's game. We'd go out, but we went out anyway. Ran the risk of injury. In fact, we picked up 2 injuries to Savinho and Akanji. Didn't need to do that. Got to manage the squad. City just trying to keep things too competitive. Got to make life easier for yourselves, because if you don't, you end up with what we've got today against Bournemouth, which is Bournemouth giving us hell for 20 minutes, scoring a goal, and we're doing nothing. Frustrating. Justin said, fair enough, a Saints fan, so it doesn't affect you for now. I was impressed with Southampton when we faced you last weekend. I had my eyes on Taylor Harwood-Bellis. If it's up to me, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, I'd bring him in, give him an opportunity, and take away one of the top Premier League defenders out of there and say, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, 2 games, impress, see where you go from there. Get his credentials out there. All of a sudden, you find more and more, the better you do, your players start to get called up for international duty. More and more pressure, you end up with serious injuries. Rain, spot on. Healthy. It's about keeping your players healthy. Corner from City comes in. Cleared again by Bournemouth. Man City started to get on top here, which is great to see. Andy, thanks for tuning in. And Alison as well. Says, just tuned in from Kirkby Moorside, and we usually score when I get up here, and boy, we could do with some Andy good luck and us finding a goal. That would be great. At the moment, Man City on top. Could do with a goal. Ripunjai, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Is Bournemouth thinking about the counter-attack? There was some impact injuries for Diaz and John Stones. And, Kyle Walker's just been skipped past. Steamrolling City here. In the end, before Semenyo to turn and send it backwards as a long-range shot comes in. Not the best of efforts, and it's dragged wide, and City can survive. Even Bournemouth getting forward there look tired. They have put a lot into that first 20 minutes. If City can find a goal, and quick, there's something in this game for Manchester City. I'm a little worried about Sporting. I know they've won yesterday night and they've had a day's extra rest on Manchester City, and they're going from strength to strength. And they've got a lot of runners in their team who have a point to prove against Man City, with a manager who's leaving, who wants one last dance in the Champions League, one last big chance of a big scalp, and also wants the opportunity to impress his new employers, Manchester United. Whilst we're pinching sporting director at the end of the season, and they're losing their manager at the end of this next week. So there we go. Chris Wood just giving Nottingham Forest a lead at home to West Ham. Good job, I got Chris Wood in my fantasy Premier League side, paying dividends as well. Anyway, guys, we're now just 41 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Here's City then, coming forward. We've just not done anything in this first half at the moment, have we? Here's City to the byline, squared back in, and his keeper has to get his foot on it, and surely no! Bernardo Silva, I thought he was just going to follow that in. Desperately unlucky that from Manchester City. So that's the best that we've seen from City so far. We're into the 60s now, doing well. 38 likes to go, guys. I mean, we might drop points today. It depends. To me, my mood depends on what happens in the Liverpool-Brighton game. Liverpool drop points. It's a bigger shock for Liverpool to drop points today than Man City with how things have gone with the injuries, and also we're away against Bournemouth who are in form, and Brighton are obviously going to Anfield, and Liverpool are losing a home game. But, you know, City dropped points today, but Arsenal have lost and Liverpool dropped points. It's not a disaster. I have a feeling that games against each other at the top of the Premier League, so our match against Liverpool coming up at the end of this month, our return match against Liverpool and our return match against Arsenal, I think these are going to be the games that decide who wins the Premier League or not at the end of the season. And I still think us salvaging that late equaliser against Arsenal could have huge implications on the Premier League. As Bournemouth give the ball away high up, Erling Haaland, can City punish them is the question, and the answer is no. Tackle comes in, and it's going to be a goal kick to rub salt into the wound. Good defending from Zabiani for AFC Bournemouth. Kovacic knew it there, out for a goal kick. Ooh, right, well, work for City to do. Yeah, replay that Bernardo Silva effort. Good defending from Kirkers. I just wonder if Bernardo could have just dummied a shot. Hindsight's wonderful. Defender clearly anticipates Bernardo going first time, so if he dummied a shot, maybe could have had an open net. As City come forward again here, left-hand side. Well defended from Bournemouth, and they get themselves a free kick. This has been a frustrating half, guys. I don't mind telling you. Really don't mind telling you. Josko Gvardiol, it was getting forward, committing the foul there for Manchester City. We could do with a moment of magic, a moment of brilliance. It's games like today where I feel real sorry for Erling Haaland because he's just not involved in the game. I always feel like Man City are at their very, very best when Erling Haaland's fully involved in the game. At the moment, we've found no way of getting him involved. Should be a free kick for City, and is. Yeah, Bournemouth, they've got forward once since the 20th minute on the counter-attack. There's been nothing else that's been offered. It's been a quieter spell for them, and I just... City have got to grip better with the game, but I just think Bournemouth are tired, and also they've got something to show. They've got that 1-0 lead that they want to defend. The question is, can they keep City to 0 for the whole game? And City are getting space. They just need to utilise it more. As I said, I want to find a way of getting Erling Haaland involved more in this game. At the moment, not really found many ways to do so. You're looking at the bench, mainly made up of youngsters. Who's going to come on? Are we going to see Jeremy Doku? Are we going to see Savinho? Are we going to see Kevin De Bruyne if this is going in this direction into the second half? How fit are these players? Here's Bernardo Silva for Manchester City then, on the right wing. And he is playing as a winger today. Works the ball to Nathan Ake into Josko Gvardiol on the left. Can we find a way of getting Matheus Nunes involved? I've not seen anything of Matheus Nunes first 35 minutes or so here. And Matheus Nunes has been one of the most informed players that we've seen so far this season, as Bournemouth give chase to a ball back to Ederson. Ederson gets there, though, and he can play his pass forward, and it's good work from Kyle Walker. Bernardo Silva drops deep, asks Kyle Walker to go onto the right wing, whilst Bernardo Silva just pings it across to the left, finds nobody in particular, and Adam Smith's just going to put his foot through that and get that clear for Bournemouth. He finds a Bournemouth player. It's good work from Manchester City, though, to win the ball back, and here's Ilkay Gundogan then, finds Bernardo Silva in a bit of space, centre of goal around 25 yards out. City just toying with Bournemouth now to try and find an opportunity. Kovacic, the space did open up for him to have a 25-yard drive. He plays a pass instead, probably more sensible option, and a ball gets hooked into the penalty area from City. Easy enough for Bournemouth to deal with, and Smith looks like he might get tackled here by Matheus Nunes. He does ever so well to keep hold of that ball, though, and Bournemouth can hack that ball clear. And Nathan Ake isn't going to win the header, and Bournemouth are going to come away with the ball, and they've got some space, so another opportunity for them to come forward on the counter-attack. Early ball sent in, not the best of balls sent in. City are still regrouping, so Bournemouth have got hold of the ball once more, and another opportunity for them to put something into the box now. They take their opportunity, work to the left-hand side. I meant don't take their opportunity, do take their opportunity there, guys. Apologies for my bad commentary there. Just work to the right again from Bournemouth, and probably the first chance that Bournemouth have had to get everybody forward for a good 15 minutes or so. City do well just to get everybody back and force Bournemouth back onto the back foot. Ball's going to be launched by Bournemouth. I feel that's always going to aid City. It comes off the back of Savinho, and Manchester City all over that are going to intercept the ball, and that's where you're going to see Bournemouth just drop off and try and get everybody back behind the ball to defend and make space difficult for City. Now, Bournemouth aren't the best defensive side, so I'm not going to sit here and accept that Manchester City are just going to huff and puff and make hard work out of a team whose forte isn't defending. If Man City are 0 today, I'm going to be so disappointed. Here's Bournemouth coming forward, intercepting off City there. Slack pass on the left. Bournemouth go with the early ball. Not good, and Ederson will collect that, and Bournemouth will just drop everybody deeper again. Here's Phil Foden then, taking City beyond halfway. He's got 4 options. Uses Bernardo Silva as his option. He's angling towards the left. Nottingham Forest are having a great season. Former Champions League winners as well. Ball comes in from City. Finds Haaland. He's wrestling. He gets a shot away, and it's just wide. Dragged wide from Haaland. Lovely show of strength from Erling Haaland. It's the first chance that we've seen Erling Haaland really involved in this game. He drags his shot, though, and that was a chance for City. It was a deep ball played in. He takes the ball on his chest. And he just gets his shot wrong. Was a chance that for Erling Haaland, though. Erling Haaland now limping. Clearly taking a hit as Bournemouth coming forward here. Kirkes with the ball, plays an early ball in. Should be dealt with by Josko Gvardiol. It is. Loose ball picked up by Bournemouth again. Another cross comes into the box. Not a good ball in. Ederson will collect that. A heavy touch from Manchester City from Phil Foden. He wants a free kick. He can't believe he's not got a free kick. I don't even think he's got a throw-in for Man City. Erling Haaland's limping. That's not good news because we don't have a backup striker. I was wondering how long this would be. He's back up and running again here, Erling Haaland. It's always difficult to tell with Haaland as to whether he is injured or whether he's just picked up a little impact injury, so he's just feeling the pain, so he's just going to kind of run around in the hope that the pain goes away. He has a very high threshold of pain, Erling Haaland. He gets stamped on, stepped on, pushed around, shoved around. Everybody, all defenders in the Premier League want to have a pop at Erling Haaland. That's a good ball played forward from Bournemouth, but the offside flag does go up. As we're now 33 likes, guys, away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Nadir says, we're not scoring with the current players on the pitch. Who do you put on, Nadir? That's the question. Who do we put on? Same question to you as well, REU. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. Who do we put on and what do we change? I always say that if you're fit enough to be on the bench, you're fit enough to be starting. So is Doku and Kevin De Bruyne fit enough? I mean, surely get to about 20 minutes to go if this is still the same, that we chuck them on. You've got to. Leeds now 3-0 up at home against Plymouth. REU says, get Ruben Dias on the... Ruben Dias ain't on the bench is the problem that we've got. Nor is John Stones. That's a good tackle from Man City. That really good tackle. It was Bernardo Silva, and that'll be a throw-in for Bournemouth. Just inside their own half. I mean, Bournemouth's job now is just try and see this out to half-time. Can they manage it, is the question. Taylor, thanks for tuning in, wants to see Doku and McAtee come on. He wants Gundogan and Bernardo off. I mean, Bernardo's not had a full chance for rest, so that's a good shout. And Gundogan's just... I love Gundogan to bits. I hate criticising him. I really do. I love what he's done for Manchester City. But it just looks so far off. It looks like a passenger. City are having to just carry him. You can't do that in the Premier League. If it's a youngster, I can forgive it. They're inexperienced. They're learning. They're developing. Ilkay Gundogan, is he the most experienced player Man City have? Taylor, I think you're spot on. I actually think it's causing some problems in midfield for City, that it's just ghosting games. Rio says, I'd like to see Savinho and McAtee come on. Good shouts. Both only young and fresh. This is all about running and being and having legs in the games. No game's going to be as obvious for this, guys. I'm telling you, Tuesday night against Sporting. Then players are fit. They run and run and run. They're good on the ball, but they know how to run. Yeah, it's going to be a test of fitness, that game. That's going to be... It's difficult. Brighton are a good team. Winning away at Anfield at the moment. It's going to be another difficult game. I mean, worst case here, Man City could be on a 4-game streak of no wins in these away games. Lost against Spurs, losing today. Dave's not happy. I was waiting for that. I just think Coventry have gone ahead against Middlesbrough. Not happy. Wants Michael Carrick out. Hackney sent off for Middlesbrough. Bobby Thomas has just given Coventry the lead. I mean, Coventry aren't having a great season either. Bournemouth fans making plenty of noise at the Vitality. They're on top of the world. They're beating the Premier League champions. What a scalp it'll be for them. Will it be their best ever result? Taylor reckons give Nico O'Reilly a shot on for Kovacic. We're just so... We lack runners, don't we, in midfield? It's becoming a big problem. Here's Gundogan falling over himself. When things aren't going right, they're not going right. Work to the right. Here's Phil Foden. Finds Bernardo Silva. Can we find something? 1 minute to go until we go into added time. I reckon there'll be about a couple of minutes added on, 2-3 minutes. Bernardo forced out wide. Bournemouth will consider that job done if they can get in 1-0. Is City just driving forward. Tries to play a pass forward. Cleared. Ederson will get there through the help of Akanji, and City will just hack this clear sensibly as well. They'll lose out on the second ball, and Bournemouth will come forward, but City should have bodies back and might be able to make the interception now, actually. Heavy touches from Bournemouth, but they still find the pass frustrating. Here's Savinho. Looked sharpest and best for Bournemouth so far. He sensibly just knocks the ball back, and Bournemouth are just going to take the time here. They don't need to force a second goal. They know that patience is probably key for them. Be interesting to see how they manage the first 10 minutes of the second half. Do you push all out going for a second goal and leaving a bit of space, or do you just sit on what you've got? How do you manage it? Do you stick a twist? For Man City, it's becoming more and more obvious that we need to twist. We're behind. So it's the first of just 1 minute. I thought there'd have been a couple of minutes added on. We've had a goal, bit of time wasting from Walker before. Bournemouth toying with Man City now. Just 30 seconds for them to see out. We're getting olayed by Bournemouth, guys. We're getting olayed by Bournemouth. Very well managed by Bournemouth, by the way, for the last minute or so. Very well managed. Crowd show their appreciation. Play some good stuff, Bournemouth. They're a good team. I said in my preview it was not going to be an easy game. Brighton next week's not going to be easy as well. They play some good football. Man City, I think, just want to get into half-time here, and they will get into half-time. Right. Not been the best for Manchester City. Not being the best. We'll roll my promo video first and foremost for SofaScore, today's video sponsor, because I want to get into the analysis of this guy. So we'll just roll that very quickly. And a big thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Much appreciated. So, guys, get your halftime thoughts in the chat. Andrew says, poor first half yet again. It's becoming a theme. Slow starts into games definitely is becoming a theme. Taylor says, in what world does Pep see that our current form and want to sign up for more years, lacking any enthusiasm? That's a good point. That is a really good point. Pep Guardiola might think that with the current crop of players, and it's going to need a bit of a transition, he doesn't want to see it through because it might take a bit of time. He's seen the best days. Does he want to see through a transition? I can't imagine he'd want the handover to another manager to be a rough one. We saw it with Alex Ferguson. To me, your legacy's your trophies, but your legacy's also what you hand over to the next man to be in charge at the club. And Alex Ferguson handed over a bit of a, and please excuse my language here, I don't normally swear, but I don't really know what other word it is, but Alex Ferguson handed over a bit of a shit show at Man United, and I don't think Pep Guardiola will want to do the same at Manchester City, because you get that wrong, you're transitioning 5 to 10 years, it's got to be right. I don't think Pep Guardiola will want to do that. I think he'll want to oversee things being nice and fresh, that the next man that takes over, the transition will be smooth, that you're dealing with here a brilliant crop of players. Because what we're looking at here, let's just look at the lineup for Man City. You're dealing with Kyle Walker, north of 30, Akanji, north of 30, Ederson's pushing on 30, Nathan Ake getting no younger, Kovacic into his 30s, Ilkay Gundogan well into his 30s as well, Bernardo Silva getting towards his 30s, might even be in his 30s as well. So that's more than half the players are north of 30 years old. So you're looking towards who's gonna be taking over the reins. Well, Erling Haaland, Phil Foden, your Matheus Nunes, your Josko Gvardiol. These are the players that you want to be building a new spine around at Manchester City. You want I can excuse with how we're playing if we've got young players on the pitch, but for me, I want to see a couple of the young players sent on in the second half. We're lacking energy in midfield, so James McAtee's probably the first of the players that I send on for me. I don't know how fit Jeremy Doku is, but I'd probably be sending him on as well. This game needs a bit of an injection of pace. So Bernardo Silva would come off and Jeremy Doku would come on, and I think I'd bring James McAtee on, and I'd probably take... Who do I take? I'd probably take Ilkay Gundogan off. I think Gundogan and Bernardo are the two subs that I'd be making. If I wanted to bring Nico O'Reilly on, I'd be tempted to take Kovacic off as well. At the moment, we're chasing the game. We've got to attack. We've got to take the game to Bournemouth second half for me. Need to see a lot more from Manchester City. Now, from a statistics point of view, I mean, Pep Guardiola will be happy. We're having more possession, 59% possession compared with 41% for Bournemouth. We've had the same amount of shots, 5 apiece. Bournemouth have created one more big opportunity than City, 3 for them, 2 for Manchester City, which means Bournemouth's expected goal rate at 0.63 is higher than Man City's 0.47 because we're just not doing enough. 300 passes, 4 corner kicks. Apart from Erling Haaland's dragged shot, which isn't even half a chance, we've just not created or done that much. And I'm putting a lot of emphasis here on Bournemouth because defensively, to me, they're just not the best defensive team out there. And we've made Bournemouth today look like a very good side. Now, they've played very well, and I'm not discrediting them for that. I think they've played an exceptional game in that first half. But Manchester City have equally been very poor and have made Bournemouth look like we're playing at Anfield today. This game feels like we're playing at Anfield. The pitch just looks a little smaller. The players look more jaded and tired and can't create, and defensively not being that brilliant. And defensive abilities isn't Man City's forte, but it's just not been very good, and speaks volume to me that I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, great, Arsenal have lost today. Liverpool are currently losing. That's our saving grace. But I'm looking, Brighton are third. That's our next away game in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest are having a brilliant season. Aston Villa, Chelsea. It's much of a muchness in the Premier League, and that muchness involves Manchester City as well. We've not been at the races today. I don't think we've been at the races for a little while, and negative results, to me, have always been on the cards. There is going to be negative results. My problem that I've got with how the squad are looking and how tired they're looking, I don't see it improving Tuesday night against Sporting. I don't see it improving next Saturday away against Brighton. We face the prospect here of no wins in 4 games. That is, to me, a little bit of a reality. Now, Man City on their day are exceptional, but we've not looked exceptional today. We've looked below ordinary. I need to see a lot more from Manchester City. When I'm having to pay attention to the other team's scores for me to feel a little better, is telling me what I need to know from the game, and I need to see more from Manchester City. I think there's goals here for Man City. 3 points are here for City if they can improve. If they don't, we ain't winning today. And that's very disappointing. As Andrew says, not putting on enough pressure, sitting back, a bit too lethargic, and City haven't really been at the races for this game. Oh, thanks for tuning in, says Ake. For him, giving him vibes of being past it, I presume you mean there. Ake's not been at his forefront today. He looks a little tired since coming back from injury. I'm wondering just how fit he is. Rain says he's disappointed. I think we're all disappointed. Justin says, do I think high-intensity football every 4 days with all the games and leagues that we're playing in shortens your players' careers' time for our clubs? Good point. I think you do. I mean, there probably is a reason why Pep Guardiola lets club legends leave before they can retire here. Aguero left when he was, 33, I think? Oh, so Yaya Toure wasn't really given the time of day. Pep Guardiola is a very demanding manager. I'm surprised with that tactic that they decided to bring Ilkay Gundogan back at the age of 34. You need more youth in your team. You need players who can run and can deal with the physical demands of the league and how we want to play. At the moment, I think you're right, yeah. Ethan says, Pep's stupid not to sign a new backup striker and central midfielder. I think we're all feeling the wear and tear. We're all feeling the wear and tear. Sympathy saying, now people are complaining. It's been saying it for ages, but it's been on the cards. I've always said I won't address the issues until the bad result comes in, because whilst you're winning, things are good. You can see from how City have been playing, it's not been so great. We have to deal with that. Ethan, Erling was limping. He always limps. he gets stepped on and stamped on, and we don't have any other option. You can't take Erling Haaland off in the second half and think, oh, we're going to win this game. We're going to score two free goals. We're going to pick up the 3 points. You saw from the Spurs game midweek, just not the options. Apologies, sorry, I forgot to put my phone onto silent. There we go. Sorry, apologies, guys. If any of you heard any beeping coming through there. So, Premier League half-time scores. Newcastle beat Arsenal 1-0 earlier on today. Current scores in the Premier League half-time scores. Bournemouth 1, Man City 0, Ipswich 0, Leicester 0, Liverpool 0, Brighton 1, Nottingham Forest 1, West Ham 0, and Southampton 0, Everton 0. Wolves take on Crystal Palace in the evening kickoff into the Championship. 3 full-time scores. Blackburn 0, Sheffield United 2, Oxford 1, Swansea 2, and Stoke 2, Derby County 1. Half-time scores. Cardiff 0, Norwich 0, Hull 1, Portsmouth 0, Leeds 3, Plymouth 0, Middlesbrough 0, Coventry 1, Preston 0, Bristol City 1, QPR 0, Sunderland 0, and Sheffield Wednesday 1, Watford 1. And finally, in the FA Cup, got loads of games to go through, so I'm going to go at this at rapid speed. Started off all half-time scores. Barrow 0, Doncaster 0, Bradford 0, Aldershot 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Weston-super-Mare 0, Burton 0, Scarborough Athletic 0, Carlisle 0, Wigan 0, Chesterfield 1, Horsham 0, Crewe 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Exeter 1, Barnet 1, Gillingham 0, Blackpool 1, Grimsby 0, Weldstone 0, Newport 2, Peterborough 1, Port Vale 1, Barnsley 1, Reading 0, Fleetwood 0, Rochdale 1, Bromley 2, Rotherham 1, Cheltenham 2, Salford City 2, Shrewsbury 1, Southend 1, Charlton 2, Stevenage 0, Guiseley 0, Stockport 0, Forest Green Rovers 0, Swindon 0, Colchester United 0, Solihull Moors 0, Maidstone 0, Rushall Olympic 0, Accrington Stanley 0, Maidenhead 0, Crawley 0, Brackley Town 0, Braintree Town 0, Tunbridge Angels 0, Harborough Town 1, Tranmere 1, Oldham 1, Walsall 0, Bolton 0, Woking 0, Cambridge 0, Worthing 0, Morecambe 1, Wickham 2, York City 1, Hednesford Town 2, Gainsborough Trinity 0, and in the evening kickoff you've got Northampton Town taking on Kettering. Bit of a local game there. So there we go. Rare, thanks for tuning in. Says, relax guys, we'll win our last 15 games and win the league again. We can't keep relying on that. Nadir, I think you're spot on. Midfield been awfully slow. Yeah, it has been awfully slow. Ethan, yep, Forest are above Arsenal right now. If it stays the same, Brighton are above Arsenal as well. And Adam, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Says, stinker so far. We always play bad in white. It's the White Sox, guys. It's the White Sox. Right, thanks so much everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video. We're now 28 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. I've got some halftime entertainment for you guys to enjoy, brought to you by my partner channel Mixed. Links and details there in the description. Go and show him some love. Go and like and subscribe over there. This is a mixture of Guinness and Blue WKD. A bit of a strange drink. I think it's called the Oil Slick. So sit back, relax, enjoy, grab yourself a drinks and some snacks ready for the second half, and hopefully, fingers crossed, a better performance from Man City in the second half, and we'll see if we can come out with some points today, even 3 points. That would be absolutely brilliant. So I'll see you in 4 minutes.
What's going on, guys? Mixed here, back again for another drinks video. Really, this not really a cocktail. So what I'll be making is a Guinness and Blue WKD mixed in together. So I'll layer on the Blue WKD with Guinness laid on top, and I will give you my opinion on it. Is it any good? So we'll fill the glass. So we'll fill the Guinness glass half full with a Blue WKD. I don't know what to think of this drink. It's an unusual combination, Guinness and Blue WKD. So we'll slowly layer it on by doing a slow pour over this big spoon. Still think this is too frothy. Bloody wind. Quite a talent trying to layer on in wind. There we go. Oh, wind. I just love wind. There we go, that'll do. Cheers. Now for the most important thing. How does it taste, lads? Oh, that's unusual. Oh, that's weird, mate. Certainly tastes it. Because it's a really, really weird taste.
Are you keen?
It's something I drink once. It's not something I'd keep doing like that. I drink once. For me, it's probably about a 3 out of 10. I'm not really keen on it. It's like a blueberry or a raspberry Guinness taste. That's what it tastes like. Not keen because I don't think you should mix them because it's not really a nice combination. But it's up to you. That's my personal opinion. I'm not keen on it. Or it's a 3 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend this. This Guinness tastes like shit. Because it looks nice. Because it's very nice to look at. Don't get me wrong. With the Guinness flavor on top and the blue WKD at the bottom. But the taste is just weird. Guinness and blue WKD. Strange taste. And I'm annoyed that I've kind of wasted a Guinness can on it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of it. Would you drink this? Guinness and blue WKD. Because I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mixed for more videos like this. If you want to see any more combinations of Guinness, anything I've not tried, as I've done Black and Tan before. Guinness and lager. I've done quite a few. Because I just thought I'd try that. I've seen it about and I thought, okay, that looks interesting. But that is the Guinness Blue and WKD, and I will see you guys for the next drinks video. Cheers.
Thank you very much there to Mixed for providing today's half-time entertainment. We're about to kick off for the second half. Just a corner coming in from Bournemouth as they're looking to try and capitalise. I said it'd be interesting to see how they do. Abby, thanks for tuning in. Abu says, still no shots at goal. All huff, no puff is what I call it. Nadir says, too many players out of form in the team at the Mo. Because we've got no other real options and it's not seeing enough. Adam, do I risk Kevin De Bruyne? I don't know how fit he is. If you're fit enough to be on the bench, surely you're fit enough to be featuring and playing minutes. So if Kevin De Bruyne is on the bench, then he's fit enough to get minutes today, which means if we're needing a goal and creativity, then yeah, you've got to risk him. Anyway, guys, don't forget, do leave a thumbs up now. 23 likes away from 100 likes. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Adam, yeah, that, to be fair, if this team hit some form and they were playing once a week, it would work and it'd be fine. It's why Bournemouth looks so fresh, because they're playing once a week. Whereas Man City having to play every 3 to 4 days, and them games that are playing are very competitive games. And the downside that Man City have got with the schedule, there's no real time to rest players. Normally I'd be looking in the Champions League and I'd be thinking to myself, right, have we got a tactical game here where you can just rotate your team, and we don't have it with the new 8-game ruling coming in, and we've already dropped points in the Champions League to Inter Milan at home. We've not got many options. Sporting are too good for us to allow rotation as a cross comes in from City dealt with by Bournemouth and out for a throw into Manchester City. Our next game after that is a home match against Feyenoord, who are a pretty decent team. So are we able to rotate against them? I'm not so sure. Are we able to rotate after that against Juventus away? I don't think so. PSG away? Again, I don't think so. Which means we might be able to rotate if we're in a good position against Club Brugge at the end of January. All the other games that we're playing between then are all Premier League games right up until we play in the FA Cup at the beginning of January. And you end up playing every 2 to 3 days during the festive period from the end of December. So this schedule and running the risk of injuries and players not finding the form and everything, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Which is why I was putting so much emphasis on what happened during this international break coming up in November. This is where I'd be looking at it and saying this is a good opportunity for players to get some injuries, not go on international duty and put the feet up for 2 weeks and say, we need you. We need you for the rest of November, December and January. Do we get a little winter break this year where we're not playing for a week? Because that's good show of strength, and surely now... No, it's dragged by Phil Foden. It's got to be on target. 12 yards out. There's a bit of space. The first real opening that we've got in the game. It's got to be on target, that. Phil Foden's just, again, he's not really... He's not setting the world on fire, is he? The Premier League Player of the Year. Nadir, yeah, he needs to fix up. He's shown glimpses of being extremely good, but nowhere near what we were seeing from Phil Foden last season. I just wonder if England shattered his confidence in the European Championships in the summer when everyone was getting on his back. Rare. You can't blame the players. You know, you get selected, you've got to play. Management is where the blame lies, along with the schedule. Management prepare the team for the season. We're underprepared for the season because obviously we've let players go and not replaced them. And once you picked up long-term injuries to Oscar, Bobb and Rodri, we're always on the back foot. We're not going to have a fully fit squad for the whole season. And we only have a small squad. I know Pep likes a small squad, but there's a small squad and then there's too small of a squad. And we've fallen into the too small category rather than the small squad category. So that blame lies with the sporting director, with Chicky, and not bringing sufficient quality in the summer, or enough cover and backup there. Maybe letting too many young players go instead of keeping them at the club and saying, we want to save 15, 20 million quid. Let's keep these players here and develop them for the next season to help cover and have them quality options. Or you quite simply... rotate the team, but you need to not have injuries for that to happen. And we're unlucky at the moment with the amount of injuries that we've got, but we're always going to have injuries. And to me, time we get to, I'm telling you, February, March time, this team will be done. They'll be knackered. They'll be exhausted. Players haven't even had a pre-season, some of them. I don't have a solution. My only solution is hope. As City are coming forward here and the long ball forward towards Haaland is cut off by Bournemouth. How long do you give this before you start getting to the bench? Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Reckons Barcelona are going to win the Champions League this season. I can't see it, if I'm honest. Picked up a great result against Real Madrid. Was it last weekend? It was a really good result. And they're looking much better I just don't think they're as strong as some of the other teams knocking around. City have got the players warming up now. One of them is not Kevin De Bruyne, though. Rare, JWE is part of the City squad. He did pre-season. He's not left the club. He just doesn't... He's with the EDS, but he doesn't seem to be around the first team. I'm not too sure why. All I can think of is I don't think City rate him, or they think that they've got sufficient options in them positions, in particular on the left-hand side with Ake and Josko Gvardiol, that they've not really needed to rely upon him. He's one of the most experienced EDS players that we've got. Just in that West Ham are down to 10 men as well, whilst being 1-0 behind against Forest, as Manchester City get themselves a free kick. Ilkay Gundogan, the man brought down. Not going to plan this for Man City. So, guys, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 23 likes away from 100 likes. Do subscribe. And do check out today's video sponsor in the description below. Liverpool, Adam, are still losing at the moment. As Bournemouth come forward again. With how Man City are playing, I fancy if Bournemouth score next, I think that's probably game done. Nearly an interception. It should be an interception. Should be, and it's not. City just look half a yard off it at the mo. Erling Haaland's gone down. He's in a heap of pain. Man City wants it stopping. Bournemouth are saying no. Eventually, Bournemouth do put the ball out, so Haaland can get some treatment. He is in agony here, Erling Haaland. The sliding challenge comes in. And I think Erling Haaland just feels it. It's an impact hit. I think it's his... Yeah, it's his ankle. Gets a clip off the studs. And it's hurt him. He is in a lot of pain here, Erling Haaland. The only thing that can make this situation worse is not only Man City losing this game, but an Erling Haaland injury as well. When we don't sign a backup striker, which is unforgivable for me. Erling Haaland's still down, by the way, guys. Ubiquity, make a good point about the physicality of our midfield being a bit weak. Not willing to get stuck in. Nasty little hit for Erling Haaland, that. He is back on his feet. He seems to be walking all right. He'll have to go to the touchline before he can come back on, Erling Haaland. He looks all right. Adam, yeah. Man City were happy to take the £80 million and not replace him. I like Julian Araujo, brilliant player. High quality player. When you lose a quality player, you need to replace a quality player with another quality player. And they've not done that. Too busy waiting. I mean, that's my only criticism I have, by the way, of Chicky. I think he's been a real good sporting director for City. I just think he's very hesitant. Takes too much time thinking about replacing players. Probably why he's so successful at making signings that have been high quality for us through waiting for the right opportunity to bring players in. But he's here to, in terms of depth and adding players, I just don't think that's been his forte. Calvin Phillips, terrible signing. Getting these squad options right for City, it's just not really worked. And Man City, as a business, you've sometimes just got to be prepared to say to Atletico Madrid that, look, you're giving us £80 million, it's a great deal, we're happy to accept the deal, but the problem that we've got is we've not managed to replace Julian Alvarez. So whilst we've not got a replacement, we're not sanctioning the sale. How many clubs negotiate with City and do that? Loads. He left Stu because he wanted to leave. He said to Man City that he wants more first-team opportunities, he wants to be the main striker, and he wants to leave. So Man City said they'll sort that out, and for the right price, they'll sell him. I know, unhappy, I mean, a bit harsh to say he was unhappy. I don't think anybody's at Man City is unhappy. I think they're just unhappy that they're not starting or want to be starting more, and the opportunities aren't really there. Oh, Mick City will be furious. Preston have just equalised and Bristol City have just retaken the lead. Anyway, my stream went off momentarily. In that time, Bournemouth have managed to have a shot and it's gone wide through a deflection and out for a corner. So some defending for City to do. We're on the hour mark and we're once more just not doing anything. This game's just drifting away from City as Ipswich have just taken the lead against Leicester. We don't have John Stones, unfortunately, rare to bail us out like the Wolves game. It's a poor corner, straight out of play. It's Leif Davis scored for Ipswich. Ipswich ahead at Portman Road then. So guys, don't forget to leave a thumbs up now. Just 21 likes away from 100 likes. Do subscribe if you're new around here. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Yeah, no, I think got to be chucking on your Dokus and your De Bruyne's pretty soon. Here's Man City then coming forward. Josko Gvardiol. So Nathan Ake. Akanji then to Kovacic. And City just knocking it round. But not creating. They're not doing anything. They're not going anywhere. Cross comes in and nearly dealt with by Bournemouth. It falls to Bernardo. He's got it under control. Is there something in this for City? Kovacic. That's free kick, ref, no? Play continues, gets squared across and could have let that go out for a corner. He doesn't. He plays it to the edge of the box. Kovacic, Walker, Akanji. City just walking this round but going nowhere. Got to be creative. Got to do something. That's a free kick, ref, yeah. Free kick Man City then. Chance to put something into the box. A guy with no name. Thanks for tuning in. Not a fan of Kyle Walker. Very much divides opinion. Got to do something, guys. And quick. As we're now 20 likes away, guys, from 100. Any help towards that would be great. City fans once again in fine voice. Trying to encourage the team. Can we get a goal? Free kick comes in. Cleared and a shot comes in and it's over the top of the crossbar from Kovacic. Have we had a shot on target? Job Bellingham's been sent off for Sunderland. Yeah, have we had a shot on target yet? Bournemouth once more coming forward. Oh, that's a good pass. Early ball in! 2-0. Evanilson with the goal, and I think that's going to be 3 points for Bournemouth. City just not at the races, and Bournemouth double their lead. Hit City on the counter-attack. Clinical. So poor from Manchester City. How many times this season have we seen teams unlock Manchester City with 2 passes forward? It's atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Looks onside for me. A good ball across. It's a good finish from Evanilson. It's a good finish. A good assist as well. I think is it Kirkez that's put the ball across? That's just creativity. City could do with some of that. Nathan Ake with the heavy touch and Bournemouth. Tails are up. I've said it. I said before Kyle Walker's pace has gone. And when Kyle Walker's pace has gone, he's no longer a good football player and not good enough for Man City. City need a goal and quick to try and scramble something because our unbeaten start in the Premier League looks like it's coming to an end. He's quick. He's still quick. He's just not as quick. So your pace doesn't fully go. It's just over time as you get older, the body just starts to tighten up and slow down a little bit. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get quicker. He's going to get slower. Which makes him a poor defender. Probably why we've been so reliant on Rico Lewis. They've overused Rico Lewis because they've got no other option. We do at some point, either January or definitely in the summer, face the Kyle Walker problem. There'll be calls coming in from Saudi Arabia again, and I sell Kyle Walker and I replace him with somebody else. Who, I have no idea. Yeah, not good, Julia, not good. I mean, Bournemouth are a good team. Finding some good form. I mean, you don't beat Arsenal 2-0 for no reason at home and draw away against Aston Villa for no reason. You don't do that for no reason. You've got to be a good team to do it. City are just all over the place at the mo. Make it 3. Oh, how's he missed? He hits the post and the rebound comes in and it should be 3. It should be 3. This is getting a bit of a joke from City now. I remember saying midweek about we don't want to get humiliated and embarrassed by Spurs when we were 2-0 down. The same can be said here. If this goes 3, City's heads will drop and I can see them scoring 4 or 5 if they want it. You guys might be thinking I'm being very dramatic in saying that, but I know how good Man City's defence is and it isn't very good. And if City's heads go and they don't know how to manage the game and Bournemouth want it, they could score 4 or 5 against our really bad defence. That is the warning sign for Man City there. It should be 3-0. It should be 3 points for Bournemouth. They're nearly there, but they're not quite there. And why aren't Man City making subs? I make all 5 subs right now. Pep Guardiola in deep thought. You know, we were laughing and joking on the bench on Wednesday against Spurs. It's all fine in the League Cup. You don't care about it. You do care about the Premier League, though. And this, not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. I'm not using injuries as an excuse or players being tired as an excuse. It's the 2nd of November. You manage your squad and it's just not being managed. And Sporting and Brighton, they're rubbing their hands playing this. I'm telling you, they're rubbing their hands playing this. They'll be thinking there's no better time to play Man City than right now. Forest have gone 2-up against West Ham. Anyway, guys, don't forget, please do leave a thumbs up. We're 15 likes away from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Black Rose, love that. Love that pun. Thought Halloween was over, but this is a horror show from Manchester City. It definitely is. There's only one team that's going to score next right now, by the way. Bournemouth are absolutely battering City right now. Shot just straight into the midsection of Ederson. Bertrand, I'd love to have an answer for that, but I've no idea what they're doing. Clueless is what they're doing. Hudson-Odoi was the man with the goal for Forest to make it 2-0. Here's Josko Gvardiol. Ubiquity says, I really believe it's not the defence, but the midfield. The midfield's weak. Your games are lost and won in midfield, so I agree with that. But City's defence is shambolic. It's all over the place. Bournemouth win a high ball up. They've got 4 players on it. It stretches City's defence. And they've not got defenders that are capable of dealing with it. Here's City coming forward once more. Erling Haaland can't control the ball. And Bournemouth looking to come away with it. And going to get a free kick. And it's going to be a yellow card as well for... Is it Kyle Walker out there? Yeah. Liverpool have found an equaliser against Brighton. You see, I said Arsenal lost the game against Bournemouth. They lost because they went down to 10 men. Aston Villa really should have seen the job out last week. So I did put the question, Bournemouth, are they just utilising a bit of luck, or are they actually dominating or are they a decent team who are capable of grinding and doing what they can to win games? And right now we're seeing our answer as it's very much a case that they're a good team that Man City are really struggling with. Bournemouth are still in possession. They're in the City attacking third. They're all over this, Bournemouth. All over this. It's been a well-managed game of football from them. Very well-managed game. Liverpool's equaliser sends them top, by the way, now on goal difference. So it looks like Man City are going to surrender that as Ederson comes scrambling out for a goal kick in the end. Man. I don't understand City's hesitancy to send substitutes on. I mean, I've just had a blessing, guys. My stream stopped working. Means I don't have to watch anymore right now. Right, Nathan Ake is going to come off for Rico Lewis. Not been a happy return for Nathan Ake to Bournemouth. Oh, my stream started work. Oh no, it stopped working again. It's a bonus. My stream started to go a bit hit and miss now. We had a good run. Oh, Liverpool are 2-1 up. There you go. This afternoon is now terrible. No way it could be worse, as if we were Arsenal fans. Liverpool showing that's what you do, though. You're 1-0 behind. 2 goals in 3 minutes. You're now ahead. Here's Nunes. He's had a very quiet afternoon for City, Nunes. He's puts a ball across and that's headed clear by Bournemouth. These balls into the box are terrible. Josko Gvardiol now to Kyle Walker, working it to the right-hand side. Can we do something? Here's Rico Lewis. Matheus Nunes. I like the positivity from Adam. I said before on the last stream against Spurs, 2-0 are dangerous scorelines. Next goal's crucial. Man City get a goal and all of a sudden Bournemouth are on the ropes. They're left to try and defend this late into the game, but I said that Bournemouth are winning the game and in my opinion are going to win this game is because Man City just don't look at the races. I think we could have another 90 minutes in this game, and I am not confident that City would score twice. Brooks and Unal, former City man's going to come on for AFC Bournemouth. They're sending fresh legs on. I'm going to be so frustrated in the post-match press conference if Pep starts to go along the schedule and injuries as the reason as to why we've dropped points or potentially lose this game. I just don't buy it as an excuse. How we've played today has been horrific. I genuinely can't think of a worse game that I've watched from City. There doesn't seem to be any real passion on the pitch. They created nothing. I don't recall them having a shot on target. Hopeful balls into the box. And it's just not linked. It's bad. If I were watching this, I'd think City were a bottom half Premier League team. Not being at the races at all. And then Pep Guardiola yesterday was speaking about he's not sure if Man City are going to do any business in January. How can you not do any business in January? How can you not? They can't cope with these injuries. As Kluivert's going to come off for Brooks. I think Evanilson's going to come off for Enes Unal. How can you not do any business in January? How can you think we're okay to go with this for the season? It's had teething holes that's been exposed after 10 games in the Premier League. This team doesn't win at Brighton next week, and this team doesn't beat Sporting in midweek either. And if we don't sort it out, and we come back after the international break, this team's not going to do the business against Spurs. Here's Bournemouth in again. Oh, I should have scored into the side netting. Brooks it was, onto his weaker right foot. They're absolutely all over the shop here, Manchester City. I can't think of a worse game that I've seen from them. They've been absolutely outplayed and outfought today. And that, to me, injuries or not, squad depth or not good enough. It's a very heavy pass and nearly goes out for a corner to City when it shouldn't have. It's gone out for a throw-in instead. I wouldn't like to be in the dressing room if I were these players with Pep at full time. Here's Phil Foden, just works it to the left. Matheus Nunes goes with a ball in, and surely now, no, Haaland has a shot, and I think it's the first shot on target. Should be a goal. Adji Wright's just scored for Coventry to double their lead. First time Haaland's... Is that the first time he's touched the ball today? I don't think I've said Haaland's name yet, other than when he got injured before. Oh, we're being bantered and shushed by Bournemouth fans now. Like, surely Man City in this position aren't going to be happy with this performance, and surely all the players will just want to get back out there and try and rectify a result. Take their anger out, so to speak. Here's Matheus Nunes. It's a good ball across from Nunes, and it's probably the first good ball we put into the box today. Bernardo's kept it alive, and City will get a corner now. If we could just grab a goal. Can just grab a goal. Here's Kovacic. Plays it to Rico Lewis. It's not a bad ball in! And there's the goal we've been looking for! Josko Gvardiol into the back of the net, and Manchester City now back into it. As the commentator I'm listening to says, game on. Maybe the result isn't as foregone. I said City don't look like they're going to score. Find a goal there. A wicked ball in. A really good ball in as well. Ilkay Gundogan. Cracking ball. Great header from Josko Gvardiol and into the back of the net. Kepa gets a big hand onto it. He feels like he maybe should make the save, but not enough. Manchester City back into it. And Josko Gvardiol with the goal. We've got 8 minutes remaining. Don't forget, guys, leave a thumbs up. We're now just 13 likes away from 100. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. 3-0. Aine has just made it 3-0 for Nottingham Forest against West Ham. So a free kick here for Bournemouth to put a ball into the City box. Defend this out and force Bournemouth onto the back foot. They do defend it out. Goal kick Manchester City. Right, 7 minutes. Can Manchester City salvage something from this game? Here's Josko Gvardiol. Gundogan now coming forward for City. Been put under all kinds of pressure. Does well to find the pass. Rare, we can actually rescue a point. Time isn't Man City's friend here, though. But they've got a chance. Can't find the pass to Erling Haaland. And Bournemouth are just going to take their opportunity to put their foot through that. And here come Bournemouth now coming forward. Savinho has had a good game. He slips. Still managed to keep hold of the ball, though. And once more, Bournemouth can come forward. And I like Bournemouth's style. They're not just sitting on this. They're getting players forward. A minute ticks away. Seamus got a fight till the end. And City are going to send on a sub. I can't see who they're going to send on. Going to see now as it goes out for a throw into Bournemouth midway inside their own half. It's going to be Ilkay Gundogan coming off with the assist. And Jeremy Doku is going to be the man that comes on. Matheus Nunes has been told to go over to the right. It was a great header that from Josko Gvardiol. Coventry now 3-0 up. There's a clash of heads here, so it's going to stop the game. Akanji with a clash of heads with Enes Unal. Straight in the nose of Akanji, that. Anyway, both fine and play can continue. Another minute ticks away. Here's Ederson to Josko Gvardiol. Here's Doku. Can City do something here? Rico Lewis to Kovacic. Too many sideways passes. Safe passes. Get something in. Time's running out. 4 minutes to go. A bit of space for Josko Gvardiol. Has a shot blocked. Wins the header. Man City can come away with the ball. Here is Jeremy Doku. Good time to send Doku on some tired legs. Rico Lewis just finds Foden. Ball can get pulled across from Nunes. He can't pull it across. And it's good defending from Bournemouth. And now they're having to just try and sit tight and sit deep. Bournemouth throwing players forward here on the counter-attack. There are players forward. Surely an early ball's coming across here. And he's taken a touch. He doesn't need to take a touch there. He goes with the early ball as a tap-in if he gets it right. City managed to scramble enough players back. Incorrect choice there. Thankfully, and Manchester City can come forward. Here's Jeremy Doku. Bit of cover coming in from Bernardo Silva. Doku still. Tries to play the pass that isn't there. Nearly cut off. Rico Lewis, though, mops that up and gives it to Bernardo. Back to Rico Lewis, and it'll go back to Jeremy Doku again. 2.5 minutes plus whatever's to be added on left here. Here's Doku into the penalty area. He's pulled down. Referee says up you get. Hope more than expectation. Rico Lewis has done so well to get that ball back. Foden finds Kovacic. Back to Foden. It gets left, and here's Doku. Scrambled and out for a corner. Good stuff. Why has it taken Man City to the 88th minute to start playing good football? There's a little push on Doku. There's nothing more in that. It's not a penalty for me, that. Referee just wants VAR to have a quick look at it. There's nowhere near enough in that for a penalty for me. Nowhere near. VAR agree. Corner taken short. Here's Doku driving into the penalty area. Kovacic gets it onto his right foot. He's looking for a bit of space. Has to square it sideways as Southampton have found a late goal against Everton at home. 1-0. Adam Armstrong into the penalty area for City. Ball gets played towards Rico Lewis. Cleared by Bournemouth. Only as far as Bernardo Silva. He's everywhere at the moment now. Backs against the wall for AFC Bournemouth. Here's Kovacic to Josko Gvardiol. Doku driving into the penalty area. Put something across. Put something across. Come on, have a shot. Have a shot. Oh, great save. Good save from the keeper. Good drive from Doku. Corner kick them. Really good save from the keeper low down. It's not easy with all the bodies in front of it. Really not easy. It's a great save, that. A really good effort from Doku and a really good save from the keeper. Bournemouth are taking their opportunity to slow the game down and bring Tavernier off. And Hujan comes on. Corner them. Squared across and Bournemouth get enough back and hit clear. Right, guys, 9 likes. Into the nervous 90s. 9 likes from 100. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe if you're new around here. And do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. That's going to be a free kick for Bournemouth. It just takes all the sting away. So we're reliant now on this board. How long have we got left? 6 minutes. I wasn't expecting it to be so high. I was expecting maybe 4. 6 minutes then for City to try and salvage something on the South Coast. Keep the unbeaten Premier League record going. And see if we can pick up a point. It looks like Liverpool are going to win today, so we're not going to win this game, so we're not going to be first. I can't believe it's taken us to the 85th minute to start playing. And we've looked so much better with Jeremy Doku playing. It's caused so many problems. And here he comes again, and he goes down. It's a free kick. It'll be a yellow card. Adams into the book. First of the 6 done for Bournemouth. City surely got to chuck everyone forward here. Surely got to chuck Kevin De Bruyne on. Adams into the book. Free kick then for City. Foden sends a ball in. A player gone down. City want a corner, and they're going to get a corner. Josko Gvardiol can't believe it. Corner for Man City. What can they do off this corner? It was a late goal from a corner against Wolves. Can they find a late equaliser from a corner here? No. Oh, Everton have found an equaliser through Beto against Southampton. Here's Jeremy Doku then. 2nd minute done. 4 to go. Kovacic got to have a hit it. Got to have a shot. Takes a deflection. Corner. All Manchester City now. Bournemouth trying to defend. City looking tired. They've clearly not had enough energy to just pump and go forward. What can City do from this corner? Comes in. City can't get control of it. Rico Lewis can. Played back in by City and out for another corner for Manchester City. There's a VAR check in that Everton game for that goal. Corner for City. Oh, it's poor. Don't beat the first man. Hooked back in by Foden. It's high! Surely! Surely, no! How's Haaland not scored? How has Haaland not scored? There's a tap in. Doku's lost the ball and Bournemouth can come forward. That's great defending from Doku. Bournemouth, though, scrambled up the second ball and they're bursting forward here. That's a great through ball to kill this off. Oh, what a tackle from City. What a tackle from City. How has Erling Haaland not scored then? Here's Foden. This is end-to-end. Bournemouth have sent a good 4 players forward, so they're scrambling to get back. Here's City then. Doku driving into the penalty area. He's got to go with his left foot. And it's another corner. It's another corner for Manchester City. Foden to take. Stadium's very pensive now. Foden whips a ball in. Headed clear by Bournemouth. Picked up by Kyle Walker. He's got to put something into the box. He does! Oh, he beats everybody and it's out for a goal kick. It's not a bad ball in from Walker. Right, guys. 7 likes from 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do check out today's video. Sponsor SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. 2 minutes then for City. Get a replay of that Haaland chance. A headed down, push back, and Haaland hits the post. He should score, Haaland. Ball sent long then by Bournemouth. Picked up by Rico Lewis. Good work from Rico Lewis. They're trying to scramble this forward here, City. Rico Lewis. Lovely show of strength from Rico Lewis. And he's going to get a free kick. He's going to get a free kick. And there's probably... Oh, he's not giving a free kick. He's just giving a throw into City. I thought he was going to give a free kick. He might have played the advantage and then they've whacked it clear. Anyway, last minute. Last chance for Man City. They've got to get this forward. Ball sent towards the box, headed clear. Why have they not left that, Bournemouth? It should have been left. The shout should have come in from the keeper. Here's Doku then driving into the penalty area. It's caused all kinds of problems. Doku squares the ball across. It's dealt with. Here's Akanji. Last chance. It's got to go into the box. Got to go into the box from City. Shot comes in! Oh, it's wide. Is there any deflection? I don't think so. That should be that. Foden with the late effort there. Just wide from Foden. This last 10 minutes has been so much better from Man City. Now, if they were playing like this all game, they'd have won this game. So my question is, why have they not? We're going to lose today because we've just not managed this game well enough. Really poor. Still waiting for the full-time whistle. Still the referee, it doesn't blow. And surely now, and does. And there it is, a famous win for Bournemouth. They beat Manchester City today by 2-1. So firstly, I want to say kudos to Bournemouth. They played a very good game over the 90 minutes. At times, annihilated Manchester City. City had no answers. And they've played a really good game of football, and they come away with the 3 points, beating Arsenal at home, beating City at home, a draw away against Aston Villa. That a very, very good spell, Bournemouth, at the moment. We knew it was going to be a difficult away game. It was crystal clear, as Julia says there. You take your slower players off and you inject it with pace, and it works dividends. Tired legs. Subs of Doku and Rico Lewis should have been made so much earlier in the game. So much earlier. There's a learning curve here for Manchester City. I feel like that is the learning curve. You've got to get your fresh legs on a little bit quicker than what we have. City are too busy managing the schedule and not managing the game. I think that's probably my best way of summarising this. And it makes it even more frustrating. It's frustrating because I genuinely feel like the 3 points were there for Man City if we'd performed well enough. I said in the build-up to this game in my preview, it's got to be a 10 out of 10 performance from City today to win. Nothing short. It's got to be 10 out of 10. It was 10 out of 10 once Josko Gvardiol had scored there onwards. It was a 10 out of 10 performance from City. Scrambling back, defending in good numbers, covering gaps, attacking, and lots of intent to try and score goals. but it was for 10 minutes, for 80 minutes. To me, it was a real poor performance today from Manchester City. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. I'd feel better if Liverpool had dropped some points today as well. They haven't. We've lost. They've won. We're 2 points behind them in the Premier League. And Liverpool are going to be rubbing their hands. They're at home again, I think, next weekend. Man City are back on the road once more against Brighton away. It's going to be a difficult game again. It gets no easier against Sporting as well midweek. Down to the bare bones. There's so many questions. There's more questions than answers that have come from this game. And it's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. And, you know, I just feel like Man City had a real good opportunity this month, through the month of November. Win all our games in November. And I think we're sailing towards a Premier League title. Now, it's got to be a win on the South Coast next weekend. It's got to be a win against Tottenham Hotspur when we come back after the international break. Got Liverpool at the end of the month as well. That's not going to be an easy game at all. Taking them on away from home at Anfield, 1st of December. You know, we could, things go south and things don't go our way in the Premier League, you know, we could end up being 5-6 points behind at the top of the Premier League. And I said it's so important you stay within touching distance at the top. That's what we've got to do now. Got to be very careful that Liverpool aren't allowed to run away with this. Frustrating, very frustrating today. It was a big game, needed to win. We haven't won. We've got to win next weekend. Got to beat Spurs. Got to get something at Anfield. They're the short things here for Man City. Anything short of that, and you're once again relying heavily on Man City's form in the second half of the season, and you just can't keep relying on that. You just cannot keep relying on that. Abradam, I don't think it's the fact that Liverpool are 2 points ahead causing the problems here. It's the schedule that's causing the problem. Can what you've seen today say to yourself that Man City are going to go out and put in a scintillating 10 out of 10 performance on Tuesday night with the amount of turnaround, the short turnaround between games against Sporting? We've got to come all the way back from Portugal to play against Brighton away. There's no recovery, proper recovery and rest time. There's no proper preparation time. Which means if we're not performing to the top level like we haven't today, we won't beat Sporting and you won't beat Brighton. We can only deal with it a game at a time. But everything's pointing towards that, and we can all see that, which is where the frustration is. I don't see Liverpool dropping points between now and the international break. I'm presuming Liverpool win next weekend, which means we've got to win next weekend. Because if we don't, that 2 points becomes 5. Spurs at home after the international break. Not easy. And then it's Liverpool the next Premier League game away from home. That's where the frustration is. I've just seen that Calvin Phillips has been sent off for Ipswich as things seem to be going from bad to worse for him. However, Leicester have found an equaliser against Ipswich Town. Anyway, guys, I'll be back again for the live watch-along against Sporting. I'll have my match reaction for you guys to enjoy as well. And I'll see you all again for that. So don't forget, leave a thumbs up on the video. We're just 3 likes away from 100. Can we get them 3 likes whilst I do the outro? That would be absolutely brilliant. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Do check out my social media links. They're in the description or on the yellow banner too. That would be great. Samuel, thanks for tuning in. Dalton, thanks for tuning in. Oh, thanks for tuning in. Man City 5, Pete, thanks for tuning in. Bournemouth played a very good game. I'll make sure I give them a lot of credit in my match review, which will be up in the next hour or so. Il, thanks for tuning in. Spike, thanks for tuning in. Rodders, thanks for tuning in. Planet Ball, thanks for tuning in. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. We're on 99 likes, by the way, guys. Who wants to be the 100th like? Who has the pleasure of being 100th like on this live stream? That would be great. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Rightio, match reaction up in the next hour for you guys to enjoy. I'll see you again Tuesday evening, Manchester City's game against Sporting Club de Portugal from Lisbon. So I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. As we do it 100 likes. Thanks so much for that, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in and interacting with me today. I'll see you for the next one. Peace. Ciao for now.